Good morning. Good morning. How is everybody this Monday morning? It's a holiday, so let's see. I think a lot of you probably are hanging out or hungover. Anyway, just joking. I want everybody to know that I kind of want to talk about what this show is going to be and what I'm hoping it to become and kind of the vision of where I'd like this to go. My name is Michael Almer. As a clinical hypnotherapist, I've been doing hypnotherapy and neurolinguistic programming for over 25 years. But one thing I found interesting is that with the pandemic and everything that's transitioning right now in the world, the United States is one of the best places to become an entrepreneur. It has the most available resources to become an entrepreneur, and I'd like to have this show become a a show that we're able to really connect with each other, bring people together that have how should I say it? People that are looking, you can be in business for many, many years, right? It doesn't mean that you're a successful business person because I'll tell you, there's a lot of businesses out there that are just getting by. And the pandemic kind of let some of those people disappear. And because of that, we kind of need to understand that just because you're an entrepreneur doesn't mean that you have the ability or the background to run a business. I've been in business for over 25 years, and like I said, what I'd like to do is create this as a group, and I want to get it to where we have people that are coming in and working on their businesses or they're already established in their businesses. I'd like to be able to work with what you do with social media. So I have brick and mortars right now that still brick and mortars that still do not have any presence online. I see businesses that are struggling to understand what their purpose is. What are they creating to or developing in order for people to consume their product, right? Whether it's a tangible product, whether it's a service, people need to know who you are. People need to be able to outreach to you, contact you, be able to become part of who you are. Otherwise, they're not gonna follow you. They're not going to continue with you. Um, and some businesses start for a while, and others fail. And that's one thing we did see with the pandemic is that a lot of businesses failed and didn't continue to go into business. Some of them didn't have the resources. It was said that I was working with the SBA, and they were saying that out of all the companies that were suffering the most, a lot of them were companies that had less than $500 in their coffers. Because if you remember when the pandemic hit, it was the end of March, middle of March, end of March, and they had just gotten done paying all their accounts, right? All accounts receivable. And then what happened was is all accounts receivable left them with very little money in their coffer. They were living paycheck to paycheck basically as a business, right? They were getting their income, running the operation, paying their bills, and then hoping that next month they made enough money to continue. If you're one of those businesses, this would be a definitely excellent show for you. I want it to be that we can all meet together, we can talk together, I can bring people on stage, we can talk about what your situation is, and hopefully give you some direction or some correction as a group, as a I guess as a mastermind. Because if you look at it, we all are masters in our trade. Some masters are failing, some masters are succeeding. The thing is that as a group, I think that we can help each other come up with something else. So I'd like you to join me here in our boardroom, virtual boardroom, every Monday at 9 a.m. in the morning, and let's discuss. I picked 9 a.m. because that's Pacific Standard Time, and that's noon over on the East Coast. So if you're on the East Coast, you can join me at noon, and that way you're possibly coming in on your lunch break if you need to. So grab your coffee, sit back, let's chat for a little bit, and let's see what we can kind of conquer here. The interesting thing that I found, I guess, through this pandemic and through what happened with my company was that we started losing brick and mortars because we couldn't utilize them, right? So I think that a lot of you out there have lost your brick and mortars, or you're in your brick and mortars and you're starting to try to rebound. You're trying to build yourself back up. One thing I did find with brick and mortar was that I didn't really have a presence on Facebook. I didn't have a presence on Instagram. I didn't have a big presence on TikTok. And it hindered me a little bit because I had already started doing outreach. So most of my clients were Olympic and junior Olympic athletes when the pandemic hit, and I was doing live sessions through a long time, probably 10 years back, with Skype. Then we moved into Zoom. So we already had a little bit of a background with that. Some businesses that started doing virtual sessions had no clue what to do. They didn't even know what to use. So I guess we had a leg in already, right? We had a foot in the door already. What we found also was that other businesses found that they did not have the resources to continue growing because of the financial burden that the pandemic hit. That being said, many of the new companies that are coming into existence, many of you who are now entrepreneurs and coming in and starting a new business, have lots of resources. You may not be utilizing them. For instance, the SBA is giving grants out for people to start new companies. There's a lot of resources right now. A lot of people are working on building new businesses. That being said, it's really important in order for you as a business owner to have the concept or the understanding of what you need to do to run a basic business, right? I'm not saying that you can't just throw a coin in the fountain and it turns to gold, because you can't. Many people do. There's many people that go out and they start a business right away and they just bring people in, and they succeed. And what I see with this group, what I see with the vision of this group, is that we just grow with each other, we build, we start getting people in. I'd like to start a private group on Facebook where we can all meet privately, and if you're not part of that group, you don't get to become a part of the discussion, right? So that way what happens is that we're getting people that are dedicated, people that are devoted to being able to get their business on track, to be able to understand what it takes to run your business, be able to understand what it takes to start basic social media, right? I mean, having an existence or a presence on social media. As you know, many people go into business kind of just because it's an emotion. They feel the emotion that they want to do something. It's a passion, and that's great. But the common business sense of how to do your books, how to keep track of inventory, how to continue to grow that business is very, very crucial, and something that a lot of us entrepreneurs don't do, or we're just learning, right? We're learning how to drive our business in that direction. You know, we all have been there. We've all been somewhere where we needed to ask someone, and I'll tell you, as being a business person from 25 years back, I'll tell you that if you don't ask, you'll never know. Don't ask, you won't receive. And it's important to be able to go out there and be able to ask the right questions to get the right answers. And you can't ask the right questions if you don't know what the question is, right? So I'm hoping that this group is going to grow and that we can all meet here every Monday at 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, and let's talk. Let's talk about what's happening to you. Let's talk about what's happening to your company. And I want to keep it driven towards business and growth and entrepreneurship. America's a great place. If you're looking to build a company, now's the best time to do it, because the economy is in a place where, there's a lot of business. There's a lot of money in this economy. Yes, costs are high. People are paying a lot for food and gas, more than ever, I think. That'll eventually settle down. When that settles down, I hope your company is resilient enough to continue doing business, because that's when it's going to be difficult. When people have money and now they're watching a little bit more what they spend it on. Right now, it's definitely a time to grow and to expand and to have outreach on your company. I want to talk about basic social media skills. We'll bring people in that can talk to us about what's happening with TikTok, which is a very new platform for me. I'm still having a little bit of issues getting onto TikTok and kind of breaking that wall of like, okay, I'm in front of somebody, I'm supposed to be doing this, I'm supposed to be doing that. And I have a very good friend who I've known for many, many years, business associate, who I've watched him transition onto TikTok, and I think he has like 120 followers. And part of it is that TikTok is a fun place, right? It's a place where you're supposed to have a good time. You're supposed to just enjoy it, do songs, dances, jokes, and your advertising has to come off in that way. It's a good, casual, laid-back place. And he's going the route of being very formal, very straight, very straightforward on his platform. And it's not growing. So I want to talk about stuff like that. Also, do you have to dance on TikTok? People are older and do or don't want to. People are young and, they should be dancing. They should be out there. They should take their shirt off and they should bring in people in and whatever they're drawing or whatever their business is. I want this to be a place where we're not going to be really putting... I don't want it to be a place of judgment. I want it to be a place where if you're growing a business right now, meet me here every Monday at 9 a.m. in the morning, and we have a soundboard. We can all talk about what's going on. Questions. I'll bring questions into the studio, and you guys can answer those questions as a group. We have guest speakers, or we can have even you guys. You guys all have knowledge of what's happening with you and your businesses right now. So you can come in, we can bring you on stage, and we can talk about what's happening within your business right now. So if this sounds cool to you guys, sounds like something you guys can totally use. I mean, I'm here, but I believe we're all here to serve, right? I mean, that's my motto. It's been the way I've lived my whole life, is that we're here to serve. So if you're interested in this type of a program, and we'll see, this may kick off and go nowhere, or may kick off and grow, but it's all up to you whether it grows or not. So if you're watching this replay on Facebook right now, click it, like it, invite your friends to follow it. If you know there's people that are entrepreneurs that are starting their business, or that have been in business for a long time, are struggling, or just not even struggling, but just confused as to, well, what should I be putting ads on Facebook? Should I be having a Facebook page for my business, or should I put a part of my business on social media, right? So I have a candle company, candles and bath and body, basically, and candles. And it was interesting because I did 1 day sale, and the sales were crazy. So I turned around, and now I have a presence on Instagram. And I'll tell you one thing you might not know, which is kind of cool, and something I'll let you guys know, a little nugget I hope that I can kind of give you guys today, is that Facebook is a pay-to-play platform. I mean, if you don't buy ads, you're not going to get served. Okay, TikTok and Instagram are not pay for play. You can create an ad, it can go viral, it can bring clients in, but the only way on Facebook you're going to get new followers if you're paying for ads, if you're buying advertising. And that might change, but right now that's what their platform has become. But I'd like to talk about stuff like that, things that you may or may not know, and kind of bring that platform into an open forum where we can all sit, meet, and talk. And it's interesting. I would be very honest with you. And the reason I started this is I have a couple who's very, very close to me, who are good friends of mine, who have been struggling since the pandemic. I mean, just struggling. And the problem is that you can't be too old to sell your business. You can't be too old to bring in new clients. You have to continue to do what you were doing, just in an electronic version. All right. In Facebook, in social media, they say, you have to touch a client 7 times. Well, in the old days, you had to touch a client 3 times, which meant you had to send 3 emails. You had to send them three newspaper ads. They had to see your ad in the newspaper 3 times, going way back. You had to be in their face 3 times before they would purchase from you. Well, now it's like 7, minimum 5. So if you get somebody to come from Facebook or Instagram into a sequence, and we'll go told this as we go along, get them to go into a sequence, they hit a landing page, what's going to happen is they'll hit the landing page, and then you've got to get them to keep going. They say at least 5 more times. I found it to be around 4. If they've seen my product 4 times, then they're more likely to meet with me one-on-one, and then usually I can convert them, or I can bring them in as a client, or I can at least give them information to continue what they're doing, and to make some small corrections with their therapy or whatever it is we're working on at that time, right? But yeah, so let's hope that this page grows. Let's hope that this builds, and then eventually what we'll do is we'll move this off. Right now, this is an open forum. I'm on Facebook and also on YouTube. So if you're watching me on YouTube, come over, let me know, DM me, send me a direct message. If you're on Facebook, send me a direct message if you'd like. That way I know you're interested, and then I can put you in so we can, like I said, eventually create a private room where we can just grow that private room and just keep building it. And then we invite people that we think are knowledgeable. Who listening to my voice right now could use somebody that can just give them advice on how to set up a Facebook ad, right? Who in the sound of my voice right now can use an attorney maybe just to answer one question and not have to pay $500 an hour, right? If it's a one question answer. Who in this group feels that they have knowledge or have something to give back to the business groups, to the business entrepreneurs that are out there just starting, right? We are a group of resilient people. If you are in business right now, you're very resilient. You've come through the other side. You walked over that bridge of tragedy, and now we're coming up to the other end where we're still in business, where we're still surviving, where some of us are thriving. It just depends on what you've done with yourself. So if this sounds good to you guys, I'm not going to go real long. This is just an introduction of this entrepreneurial group, and I want to welcome you and welcome your friends. If you see people or know people that are just starting their business, or just people that have been in business for a long time, bring them over, recommend them. Every Monday at 9 a.m. we'll be doing this, and it'll be an open forum where we can discuss and talk about what's going on. So, I used to have a lot of business access where I would go in, prior pandemic, every single year I would do a media training class, how to market yourself on a shoestring budget. And it just seems that a lot of that has stopped now because we're not having big groups. The big groups that we have are online. People aren't getting what they need from it, and they're stuck. So a lot of people did not apply for the PPPs when they could have for the paycheck protection plans that were set up by the U.S. government. They're struggling pretty bad. They're struggling to the point where they're living paycheck to paycheck and possibly losing their homes and stuff. The key is going to be that we grow as a group, and that we help each other out, and that we continue doing what we're here to do, which is to serve each other as human beings. So anyway, that's my story. That's sticking to it. And if you're interested in joining me and following me, like and subscribe to this page that you're watching me on, and send me a DM, because I'm eventually going to separate this. But for now, it'll be Monday mornings at 9 a.m. And then you can also catch my regular show, which some of you who are watching this will know that my regular show is on Thursday. It's on Thursdays. It used to be called Thirsty Thursdays. Now we're just picking topics that we can actually work through. And my next topic is I have an awesome woman coming in. She's a psychic and a mediumship. And she's being highlighted in a movie, a TV show, basically, that they're promoting at some of the film festivals. So that would be cool. And that's going to be on Thursday now at 9 a.m. in the morning. All right. So we're going to try the 9 a.m. for a while. If it works, great. If it doesn't. We may be going to a different time, but I will let you guys know through the signups and through what's happening. So DM me if you're interested in becoming an entrepreneur, or now you're an entrepreneur, or you own a business and you're a very seasoned business owner. And let's become part of a tangible group that we can grow together, build together, and expand together. All right, you guys, thank you so much. I appreciate everything. Appreciate your time for the replay, and those of you who are watching me right now. Have a great night, a great day. Have a good, nice, long weekend. Enjoy yourselves. Be out there. Be safe. Thank you.